This is part 2 of reviewing the season 4 episode 1 animatic. So, like I was saying, Rudrick does not really acknowledge Janner and Lily like he does. They don't even really have any monologue. He barely looks at them and then he's like, "Where's the third one?" This might seem like a small detail to some people. It's like, okay, whatever. But to me, it was kind of like a, whoa. Because that's his first impression and he didn't even acknowledge their presence. And yeah, Janner obviously doesn't run and protect Kalmar like he does in the books, which also irritated me because we are getting such a lack of Throne Warden moments. They've already missed 5 Throne Warden moments that Janner does for Kalmar since getting to the Hollows, and it's like, what are you doing? Moving on, like I said before, when they get to the keep, Arthur is supposed to be going crazy, right? And Janner looks at Lily and he's like, wait, I got an idea. And he just climbs to the top of the tree and he jumps off. What happens next is Arthur is supposed to fly up and save him, and then he says, thanks, I needed that, and then he leaves. This just doesn't happen. In fact, Arthur flies up by himself. Again, this might seem like a small thing to you, but this was such a Janner literally jumped off of a tree and showed his trust in his uncle and his love for his brother all at once. And removing this was just like a, what? Final point I'll say about this, it overall felt pretty rushed. And I know what the comments are going to say, Veronica, it's a show. They can't do the same in the book. It's a show. They have to make it more rushed. I understand that, but I'm also sitting here and I'm like, you couldn't have like a little bit longer. I'm not saying that they had to keep the whole overnight thing. If they wanted to do it all in one day, I can totally understand that. But it was just all rush, 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 rush. Like this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. It was like we didn't get a chance to sit and think about something that just happened before we were already jumping into the next thing that was happening. They didn't like work their way through the scenes. They kind of just threw the scenes at you. Aside from that, we didn't get Nia talking about their journey at all. We didn't get Nia explaining what happened to Janner and Kalmar. And the Turley was very rushed. She basically just took the knife, cut her hand, and was like, okay, I pledge this. Boom. I was like, girl, what happened? At all, this was fine. I really don't care. But one little thing I noticed because I'm nitpicky, Oscar was like, that's Turley and blah, blah, blah. And this is what Turley is. Oscar was one of the only people to not know what Turley was. He literally was like, what's Turley? That's not a big deal. I know this is going to seem nitpicky to people, and I'm okay to be prepared for those comments and those concerns. But so far, the first look I've gotten at season 4 is off to a pretty rocky start for me. I like it, but the cons list is a lot bigger than the pros list. One of the main things I think that could just be a little bit better is showing more Janner and his Throne Warden moments, as well as kind of working through things. I thought cramming everything into one episode just didn't seem like it fit quite right. But overall, I would rate this episode a 5.5 out of 10. Let me know your thoughts.